Hello everyone, this is Tazilon. I am here in my VK2801 in Sacree Valley Encounter Mode, West Spawn, for Volume 25 of the Lighthouse original tutorial series, What Would You Do? This is the series of YouTubes where at various points throughout the fight I will stop the battle and say, okay, you see what's going on, you're driving my tank. What would you do? Then after a short pause, I will tell you what I decided to do and why I decided to do it. And as a bonus in this, we're also going to be taking a look at the OODA Loop. OODA. O-O-D-A. It was a explanation of the thought process developed by Col John Boyd of the United States Air Force. He meant it to be applied to fighter pilots in air combat. He sought to explain to fighter pilots how the decision-making process worked and how they could better employ it and at the same time use it against their enemies to gain advantages in battles. He was seeking to explain why some combat pilots were more effective than others. So the OODA Loop, O-O-D-A. It's a very simple concept that is actually very complex in nature. And we're just going to look at it in a brief overview here. If you want to see a more detailed explanation of it, go to my website, Tazilon.net, click on the Situational Awareness button and then on the OODA button, and it's a little bit more in-depth look at this amazingly brilliant explanation of the thought process in combat. And as a matter of fact, it proved to be so useful that it jumped from military use and is now well entrenched in the civilian world, because it turns out not only is it good tactically, it's also good in a long-term strategic sense, and corporations use it to outmaneuver their competitors. So OODA, once again, observe, orient, decide, and act. Real quickly, simple explanation. Observe is exactly what it sounds like. You're observing data, be it the mini-map, the main map, input from all different areas. If you're in a team battle or a clan battle, you have a caller telling you what to do. He's constantly giving you input. That all comes under the observe. It's data that you're getting from whatever source, be it a command and control or direct observation, all kinds of other ways to get data as well. With that data, it's basically useless. Data by itself does nothing. You have to orient yourself to that data. Okay, here's my pile of data. What does it mean to me? Very similar situational awareness. It's kind of an explanation of the same thing. It's explaining how situational awareness works to lead to a decision and action. It's not enough to have the data. It's not enough to see what's going on. You have to quickly analyze what it means to you. Based on your orientation, you then decide what to do, and then the final step, you act. You carry out your decision. Now, all throughout this loop, observe, orient, decide, and act, you're continuously, if you're smart, getting new data. Observation never stops. At any point, new observation may cause you to abort your loop, go back into the orient process, from which you then make a new decision and then a new action. So your goal becomes twofold. You want to complete an OODA loop faster than the enemy completes his. You also want to prevent the enemy from completing his OODA loop. As long as you're making correct orientations and wise decisions and acting quickly, you can force the enemy to constantly be reactive to what you're doing. And at the same time, you're preventing the enemy from completing the actions he wants to complete. Do that successfully over and over, and you greatly increase the chances of you winning the firefight. You also greatly increase the chance of your team winning the battle. So your goal is to complete your loop faster than him, prevent him from completing his loop. And as we move through into about the center point of the battle, I'll start talking to you more about this and show you an example of where I use this completion intervention dual process to win 2 engagements in a row. Now, for now, as we start off, order of battle, 3 artillery apiece, 1 scout apiece. The enemy team dominated by heavies. They have 1 medium, 3 TDs. So from the go, you expect them to be strong in the north, with maybe not too many people down south. On the other hand, our team, much more balanced order of battle. We have 4 mediums, 3 TDs, the rest are heavies. So we most likely are going to be stronger in the south. With that in mind, I'm going to set off to the south. I'm going to cross the bridge, move down into this area and try to get some initial spots for my team down there. Let them see how many people are moving down to the south. Whether you're in standard or encounter mode, whenever you go down there across that bridge, you want to be highly aware of how many people are coming with you. If you have good support with you, I'm not talking about sniping support back here. If you have people move across the bridge with you, the more people that come with you, the more aggressive you can be, the deeper you can go. A lot of people come. You go around this building and set up to shoot people as they come up the ramp. Hardly anybody comes, then you can't go too far in and you'll get trapped and never escape. Right now, as I'm moving, starting to go up the ramp here, I see the KV-13's coming with me. It looks like he's going to cross the bridge. The T-20 stopped coming to the south. And just really, really weird. This battle's kind of weird overall. We have a 122 moving to the north. Tiger Porsches appears to be moving to the north. Everybody else is moving to this middle area. So at the same time I expect the enemy to be strong with heavies to the north, we have hardly anybody moving there. This is a huge potential problem later on in the fight. My initial goal, check out down in this area, see if that T-37 is trying to move down here to the bushes right down in here. I look over, I don't see him. Doesn't mean he's not there. He could have beat me into the bush. But if I beat him, then I expose him right away and force him to back out of it, deny him that spotting opportunity or location. Then I shoot down the wall because I want to see people coming up, potentially get a quick shot on them. And man, there's a lot of people coming up the ramp, more than I expected. So I'm glad I didn't go deep, because I only have 1 tank with me. It looks like maybe the T-20. I don't know if he's just stopping here or coming over the bridge. Either way, we're going to be outnumbered up here. So while I was saying if I have a lot of people, I can come around this building, well, I have to worry about that happening in reverse right now. High degree of likelihood that one of them is going to cut across right here, come around this building and pop out behind me and start pinning us down with fire from 2 different directions. Not really a good situation. So I'm going to be watching to see if anybody pulls out behind me there. And there we go. I have a medium behind me. What would you do? Where are you going to go now? What I don't know is if anybody else is going to pop out and join him. I also know that if I stay here, he's going to get shots right up my butt, which I don't want to happen. Even worse, I know that if I try to exfil down this way, these guys are in perfect location. I'm spotted. They're going to be able to snipe me. They're going to have opportunity fire as I move farther to the west. So I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm not by any means the only person that does this, but I like doing this in this situation. I'm going to move on to this terrace down here. Don't want to be going too fast when you do this, so you'll go too far and slide down the hill too far, potentially track yourself. So I go at just moderate speed. If I'm got farther to go, have a bigger run at it, and I'm going faster, I'm going to slow down right before I go down that onto the first terrace, so I don't fall down here. Now, what I have to be aware of right now, up in here, TDs like to set up there, and sometimes a medium or even an artillery will sit back here. If they do, then I can't move down this terrace because they'll have almost direct fire at me, and I'll take damage. If that happens, I have to be ready right up here. The ramp isn't quite as, the drop off isn't as severe. I can just bail out to the left and run for it. But for now, I'm going to try to move forward, keep these guys proxy spotted, try to force them to back off or continue to take a lot of allied fire if they stay up there. Make them pay the price. You can see the Scorpion back there too. lot of tanks over there. The 122 is coming straight at me. He gets shot, I get the kill shot, and as he slides to a fiery halt to arrest, I'm going to continue pulling forward. Again, my goal, provide proxy spots or force these guys to back up where they're not a threat. T-26 already backed off the edge of the terrace here. And now the OI, continuing to take fire, is backing up, so I'm going to pull forward. There's a Scorpion and a 304 over here. I know for certain. Who knows if anybody else is over here. I want to see what's here for my team. There's the 304. I have a shot. I have a kill. There's the Scorpion. Now what would you do? I really have three options. Two of them aren't very good. I can turn around and go here. I guess I have four because I could just sit right here. I can go back this way, which isn't really good because he's going to get fire at me, or these guys can pop over and get fire at me. I can go north. If I do that, these buildings don't provide enough cover and concealment to prevent him from shooting me as I go. Or I can turn totally aggressive on him and attack him. And my decision is to attack the Scorpion. What I'm going to do is pull forward here. There's this great little knob, kind of like a banister on a stairwell. There's this little hill on the side of the road going up here that I am going to use. You can see it right here. I'm going to use to provide cover until I pop out, and I'm going to be set up to shoot it perfectly. Now, what I'm going to do is fix my turret. I know where he's at right here. I'm going to fix my turret and not movement so I don't get the penalty for moving my turret. I'm not going to incur the accuracy penalty on my turret. I'm going to try to get my tank hull set up to where I'm going to be able to pull at the last moment. I'll be going straight forward. I'll have my gun on target. I have my aim circle as small as I can possibly have it and get a nice accurate shot right into him. He has very thin armor. My HE should blast him big time. The whole key to this is not moving my turret, so I have my aim circle already small. There I go. I get a solid hit on him. Back out as I reload. I'm moving up, getting in position to do it again. Unless he shoots me and hurts me, I'm going to do this and take him out next shot. Three shots on target. No fire in response. Now I'm going to pull up and try to harass these mediums. Help out my KV-13. M46 looked like he was going towards Artie, but now he's coming back down to the south. I get a flanking shot on there at 46. I'm going to back up while I reload. What would you do? Keep harassing the mediums or do something else? Now I got two things going through my mind right now. Number one, I get to do it the first time, pull up here and shoot him, and he's concerned with the KV-13. I may get to do it a second time. Pretty certain by the time I try it the third time, one of these guys is going to be squared off facing me, ready for me. And if it's the T-26, man, that's a losing proposition because he has good frontal armor. I'm no match for him head to head. And I can't flank one of them without the other one having a shot on me. Even worse, with the M46 aborting his run north and coming down here to, he senses a good flanking opportunity. There's two Artie up in here somewhere, free to shoot at whatever they want. All their heavies are appearing down here. Here I am pulling forward. Nice, wide, open, flat surface that I'm going to be on and maneuvering on with two Artie free to shoot at whomever they wish. All these other targets are in hills and in buildings, and guess who's the easy target? Me. I don't want to do that. So I'm not pulling back up here because I'm Artie bait. Yes, I can get some shots in there and help out, but odds are high I'm going to be receiving fire from artillery if I try to play this card any longer. So I'm not doing it. I'm going to go north. I don't want the M46 getting shot by Artie either, so I'm going to get up here as fast as I can, try to occupy these two Artie and prevent them from getting easy shots on whomever they decide to shoot. They have complete freedom to do whatever they want right now. That's not a good thing at this point in the battle. I get spotted probably by the one artillery, so I start getting a little bit evasive. The 155 is going to show up right now. I'm going to back up and try to get a quick shot on him. Aim in, not all the way, almost all the way. I throw it a little low. Pretty common when you shoot at distance to have your shot sink a little low. Somebody shot at me. I'm not certain who. There's another arty over in here somewhere. I don't know where. Could be over here. I don't know. So I'm going to pull in on the Lorraine 155, and here we get into OODA Loop. Really good example of using it. I am going to turn to the left. I don't want to run straight line straight into the guy, because if he sits there and just waits on me to come in and I go in the exact direction he wants, I'm dead. So I'm going to do the same thing I did with the Scorpion. I'm going to set my turret to the angle that I want it, and then I'm going to use my haul to traverse my gun into line of fire with the Lorraine. It helps reduce, it eliminates the penalty I get from the aiming penalty I get from moving my turret. Helps increase the accuracy of my gun, and this gun is notoriously inaccurate. If you try to shoot while you're moving the turret and moving your tank, you'll almost never hit your target unless you're exceedingly close. I'm not going to be that close. I'm going to be fairly close. But anything I can do to help my aim, I'm going to do, and that means set my turret, move my haul. If I can get away with not moving my haul too, even better. But now watch what happens is I come in, I know where he's at, I'm setting up for the shot, pull in, and bam, there's the M44 off to my left. What would you do? Obviously I'm going to take a shot at the 155. I'm already set up to do it. I just have to move forward just a little bit, and my aiming circle is going to move right across him, and I'll have a shot. But after I shoot, I have two choices. I can try to curl in around him, deny him a shot, and get an easy kill shot on him, but doing so puts me directly in line of fire with the M44 to where he's not going to have to traverse at all. He can just sit there and aim in on me, and what he'll probably do is wait until I kill the Lorraine 155, and then he can fire with impunity. He doesn't have to worry about hurting his own tank. He's going to have a perfect aim on me, and I'm putting myself in a really bad situation. So I'm going to shoot this guy, hang a hard left, and try to keep the M44 traversing to keep me in line of fire. Here we go. I fire at him, immediately look back. Let me pull right here. Now, what would you do from this point? All the clues you need you can see right now, and I'll even zoom in so you get a little better idea of the situation. Okay, here's what I'm looking at. And you get, again, you get the luxury of taking a pause to see it. I have to try to see it as I'm moving full speed. His gun barrel is already traversed as far over to the left as he can get it. He is turning his tank to the left. What he's expecting is for me to come over here and run in at him from this angle. He's trying to get a lead position with his gun to where I'm going to run into his shot. So from my perspective, I know what his decision and his action is. I need to take steps to counter that. I need to throw him off, make him reorient, and make a new decision. So I'm going to continue turning hard left. My only fear is, can I turn hard enough to get out of his line of fire? This is a basic crossover move, but I'm way behind in the process because of the direction I'm at. But it's my only chance of survival. Hard left. Hopefully he over-rotates just a little bit and his shot's going to miss. Here we go. Look how close he came. If I would have continued straight, he would have been able to shoot me. He manages to track me. I fix my track, and I get a kill shot on him, and here comes the 155. Same thing. I have to react to what this guy's doing. Right now, he has the upper hand. I have to somehow turn the tables on him. What would you do? Once again, he's starting to aim his gun to the left. He's rotating. You can see on his tracks you can see on his tracks that where'd my cursor go? I'm hitting the wrong button. He's turning to the left. His gun's aiming. He's trying to get a line of fire just like this because I'm going to pull into his line of fire. He's going to blast me. I'm going to die. I know what his decision and action is. I need to counter it. Full reverse. Back out of his line of fire. Don't enter his line of fire. He's coming as fast as he can go at the time. If I back up, he's not going to have time, based on the new observation, to orient, decide, and act in time to prevent moving in front of me. I'm going to it's a lot like karate, kung fu. You take the enemy's action and momentum and you use it against him. I'm taking his decision and I'm using it against him. I'm going to cut inside his loop, and before he can run through the loop process, I am going to be in a position of advantage. Watch this. Full reverse. He can't turn in time. He can't bring his gun to bear in time. Easy kill. 2 times in a row, I cut inside the enemy's OODA loop because I observed, oriented, decided, and acted faster than the enemy could repeat and reorient, redecide, and react. It's something you do constantly whether you realize it or not. Situational awareness. It explains how you use it to your advantage. Use it against the enemy. The key: correct orientation, rapid orientation, and then a wise decision. Do it faster than the enemy. You dictate the battle, and you win the engagement. Now, I'm originally planning to run right through here and run up here and spot for my team, snipe for my team. But is that what I should do right now? What would you do? If you were paying attention, you notice the M46 start to reverse. I don't know why he wants to reverse, but he does. And so I'm granting him the benefit of the doubt that he has a solid reason for backing up. The last thing I want to do is go this way, end up bumping corners with him and stopping his reverse, because he's probably trying to get out of line of fire from one of these guys who are rotating their turret towards him. I want to give him the freedom to back up. For whatever reason he has, I'm going to give him the freedom to do it. So I'm immediately, instead of going this way, I'm going to reverse my idea and go around him, round to the left, give him the space he needs to do the maneuver he wants to do. You have to be aware of your tanks as well as the enemy tanks. Always try to move in a manner that doesn't cut off egress from your allies. I don't quite have time to get a snapshot on the 201, so I'm going to pull forward and see if I can snipe down on these guys. Target Black Prince. Now, the armor on a Black Prince on the side of his turret and on his hull is 95 millimeters. My heat is 104 penetration. So he's kind of angled the wrong way, but I'm going to see. Right now I'm basically playing with this guy. I'm not going to get good damage from my HE on him unless I get really lucky with just put one right on top a weak area. So I'm going to see if I drop down on him, because my shell's going to sink down, am I going to be able to hit it enough of an angle to get a penetration? And the odds are low, but my odds of doing big damage no matter what round I use onto the side of him is low. Really, where you want to shoot this guy is in the back of his hull. His armor's much less, and you can get penetration there. I'm trying to see if I can get it to fall far enough, with enough of an angle that it does damage, and it's like, now it bounces. We have other people shooting at him, he's going to die. So as I pull forward and go to engage the 201s, I'm going to switch back to HE. That was just a little experiment, just to see what would happen. So 122's coming with me. He's been all over the battlefield. Okay. Pulling into these 201s, which one should I shoot? No choice here. I take the one I can kill with one shot. I want to get his gun out of action. If I can kill him and prevent him from getting one more round of damage, that may be the damage, the prevented damage that helps us win the battle. So I take him out. Now what? Where should I go? M46 is back here. He's in a great position to snipe down potentially at the KV2 if he pulls out here. He's able to shoot at the 201 if the 201 pulls forward. 201's probably not going to do that. He's not going to put himself in a more vulnerable position than he already is. So for right now, M46 basically out of the equation. This is a 2-on-2. If I pull forward and try to play this aggressively, I'm going to put myself in potential line of fire this way and this way, which is a lose-lose proposition for me. So I'm going to do something completely different. I'm going to pull up and see if I get a shot in the 201. If I don't have a shot, I'm going to completely back out, come all the way around, and try to get a flanking shot on the KV2. As long as the 122 stays right here, I don't think they're going to charge him. And if he stays right there, he'll probably lock those two guys in position. They're going to sit there and wait for one of us to pull forward. And that's going to give me the time I need to set up on a kill shot for the KV2. Once the KV2's gone, we can just basically gangbang the remaining 201. This is all contingent on that 122 staying where he's at. The M46 is starting to move in now. He's moved over a little bit. He should be able to help out the 122 if the 201 charges him, or if the KV2 tries to flank him. So I'm pretty certain I have the time to do this. When you go over these rocks right here, try to avoid going over one of them, especially that one, that kind of pointed one to the right. I just went around. Acts just like a tank trap. It will stop you cold, stop you from moving forward. So whenever you go up that ramp, be careful not to get caught up in those rocks, especially if you're trying to move somewhere in a hurry. M46 moving in close now. I think this is going to work out perfectly. M122 didn't move. Hopefully froze those two tanks in position for me, because as I pull up forward here across this little terrace, I should have a great shot in the KV2 unless it's moved. There he is. He's looking to the south. I can let my gun aim and fire right before he gets line of fire on me. I'm aimed in as far as I can at that point, and improved accuracy, get the shot, get the kill. Now it's just a matter of moving in on the 201. I'm not going to go straight to him. I'm going to try to round this hill. If he's still alive when I get there, I'm going to have a great flanking shot of the side or rear. He's 2-on-1, so hopefully one of my allies is still alive by the time I get there. Even better, the 201's going to be dead. Although I must admit, I would like to get this last kill. It'd be a Radley Walters. But I want the win more than anything, and there we go. On this battle, I end up 2,094 XP in an ace mission, 2,141 damage and 7 kills, 376 assisted damage, 3 spots, a Pascucci and a Top Gun. It was kind of a weird battle with how we chose to deploy. And also, even though you thought they would have an overwhelming presence up here and not many tanks to the south, they sent a lot of people to the south. So because of how we deployed, they easily won the north. We were able to keep them at bay to the south. Fortunately, I was aware that I didn't have much support coming directly with me, so I didn't go in too deep and get caught. As the number of tanks became apparent and one of them tried to run around and put us in a bad position, I was already set up to make an easy exfil, get down on this terrace, run across the terrace and light them up, get a kill on the 122 and the 304. I was able to, with all the support fire from these guys, back the tanks off the edge. The Scorpion over here, I was able to come around and use that little kind of banister kind of thing on the side of the road going up the hill to conceal me and give me cover, set my turret, pull up. I'm already in perfect position gun-wise to take a shot with increased accuracy. Do it 3 times in a row, kill the tank, never even receive one scratch in return. Then I pulled up and started firing into the flank of the 2 mediums, but The M46 broke off his attack to the north and came down to help me, which left these two artillery completely free to do whatever they wanted, and here I was about to enter engagement on a nice, flat, completely open surface. While most of my other team was in already safe positions, I was going to become the prime target for Artie, not a position where I wanted to be. So I let the M46 do that job, and I went north to tie up the Artie. And got a little intense there because I had an Artie on both sides of me. I was able to force them to react to me twice in a row and just barely outmaneuver them and gain two what turned out to be easy kill shots. Even though it was intense action, I managed to keep the battle in my favor just by inches. But that's all it takes. Force the enemy to react to you, and many times that's the advantage that you need to procure a victory. From there, back to the south with the intent of spotting from the ledge. By the time I got down here, a lot of the enemy was already lit up. So I got one shot in the Black Prince, experimented and wanted to see how is my shot going to fall down on him directly enough to penetrate, and it didn't. Had a guy sitting right beside me shooting at him, so it didn't matter. And then I switch back to HE, go up, kill the 201 that I can kill in one shot to get his gun out of the battle. I didn't like where I was with potentially taking fire from two different angles, so I backed all the way around, came up here, got a kill shot in the KV2 because he's looking to the south where he thinks all of us are. And then I was going to go around the mountain and set up a flanking shot in the 201, but these two guys teamed up and took him out before I got there. So nice team play at the end. And as always, if you predicate what you do based on what you see on the map, you observe, you orient, hopefully you orient well, you make a quick and wise decision and act, and you can constantly force the enemy to react to you. If you can do it in a way that, as you saw, I saw what the enemy or artillery were doing, and I forced them to reorient, to redecide and react, and they didn't have the time to do it before they were dead. Apply that concept over and over and over in battles, and you will see your success rate improve, your win rate go up, and your stats are going to go up as a result of it. So if you want to learn more about it, go to the website, look for situational awareness on the main menu, and then from the situational awareness menu, go to the OODA Loop, and you can see a little bit more detailed explanation of what that is. Good tool to have in your bag of tricks. It's something you do, whether you realize it or not, you're already doing it. So by becoming more aware of how it works and learning and practicing using it against the enemy, you're going to improve your effectiveness on the battlefield. From Sacree Valley, running my OODA Loop faster than the enemy ran his and enjoying the benefits from it. Happy hunting.